Hey everyone, and welcome to Planet B.O.B, which of course, bug out bag, go bag, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually going solo tonight because Miss Denise Harris is still under the weather. Y'all, give some thoughts to her. She's recovering, but she's getting better. So let's hope it stays on the road to that. Several people have asked me what she has. I don't know, honestly. She doesn't have the flu. They don't know if it's the other thing, so she was never tested, but she feels like crap, so let's hope that she, keeps forward on a speedy recovery. I'm going to be doing solo tonight, so I'm going to be trying to post things in the groups and then looking up stuff, so you have to bear with me, I know that my voice isn't as clear right now because I've been up on another podcast, one of my other friends, on there, so my voice is like really scratchy and off right now. Of course, we're going to be talking about COVID-19. Everybody's talking about it, but this is my thing, okay? Everybody is like panicking. I mean, like just freaking out. And I have thought about this mess, leading to a martial law or whatever, but the facts are, even if it does, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. So, and other people are like, well, there won't be. I mean, does it really matter whether you want to call it a lockdown, a quarantine, a shelter in place? It's all the same, tomato, tomato. So, whether they actually call it martial law or not, it's basically martial law. I mean, what can we do? What can we do? That's what everybody keeps saying. What can we do? What can we do? The best thing you can do, number one, is remain calm. And there's no use in freaking out and running around, running to the stores and, buying up the place because this isn't going to last forever. It's just not going to. And really, I've heard people say, well, if it comes to it, I'll just go take things. Please remember this. I am asking all my prepper friends and even all you idiots that think you're going to go rob places, remember the prisons will still be there when this is all over. The cameras are all working. They will find you. You will be hunted down. You will go to prison. I mean, that's just how it is. And there be, well, I won't wear a mask. Well, they can literally follow your car with every street camera until you're to your house. Do you know what I mean? So, you're not going to hide. I have also want to touch on a few things during the podcast about just different things about like the kids being forced out of school. Now, I know a lot of people have said the elderly, let's have an hour in the morning for the elderly to shop, which is fine. But let me tell you something about the elderly. These MFers are the make do generation. Trust me when I tell you, the second they heard Europe, what was going on over there, they done went and bought all the toilet paper and macaroni and put it in their basement, I can guarantee you. So, I'm not saying not to be concerned about them, but I can guarantee you that those are the people that will survive long before the newer generation will. My biggest concern right now is the people that have children at home. Because, the schools were forced to basically, close down when all the kids are home. Well, this is what makes me angry. Okay, we pay taxes. We pay taxes for an education, and a lot of these kids are low income or free lunches. So we pay taxes for that, and, and some of the parents who can't afford to pay their kids' lunches paid it up till, whenever. So now they've got these kids at home. They're all panicking. They got to go shopping and all of that. I think that they should be able to shop first too. The people with school-age kids, because they're the ones with these little kids at home that need to eat, So, I mean, like I said, there's just a lot of BS going on right now. And I keep hearing, oh, the schools are going to accommodate. Okay, well, let's see it. These kids have already been out of school. I want to see your accommodations. I want to see what you're doing for them. And then now, and this is the real kicker to it all. You have people with kids who are like, 5, 6, 7 years old that are like anywhere between kindergarten and third grade who are forcing their kids to go to daycare so they can work. So they're taking them out of the schools and now putting them in a daycare situation. Does that make any sense to anybody? So that's another reason I think like eventually we're going to be in a mandatory, lockdown. I mean, it's already happening in some states there, San Francisco said shelter in place, all this, so I think it's something that people really need to prepare for because I don't see it not coming. I don't see how it couldn't. Places are already closing, bars, and I'm not saying panic, don't freak the hell out, but you're still going to be able to go to the store. You're still going to be able to go to work. You're still going to be able to go to the gas station. They're just like, they're closing down places that they deem unnecessary, I guess. So that brings us to the other subject of people are saying socialism. People are saying, oh, well, this is a socialism thing. And, they're going to tell us what to do and where we can go. And it's just a mess out there, folks. I mean, I wish I had a better answer for you. I really do. I mean, okay, hold on one second. I need to get these posted here. But yeah, I really think at this point in time that, hold on, the people, first of all, they need to just remain calm. That's the biggest deal right now, is everybody just remaining calm and not, there was actually stories out there, hold on. There were stories out there about people calling 911 because they were out of toilet paper. Alright, we're going to discuss a few things about that too. I know I'm going all over the place right now and I apologize because I'm posting some things online to get some people in here to get some input on a few things and stuff like that. I know without Denise here, it's like I'm like a lost puppy. It's like she talks while I post, whatever, you know what I mean? So, we got this going. What I want to know is, what are alternatives? We've discussed this before about alternatives to things, what you can do, different things, and I'm going to be getting into all that tonight, so just bear with me here, and let me get these posted so I can get some stuff going. Let's see. I know, like, over in other countries right now, they're saying some of the, there's stuff going on, but we also have to think about those other countries. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying any country's better than anyone, of course, but, I know, like, over in Italy, they're, that they have the poor neighborhoods, things like that. So, I mean, I don't know, I'm not there, but I just know that healthcare is different over there, and things are different, so, I don't know. But, let me get back in here now. Okay, I'm back to normal here, let's see. Okay, so let's talk about some alternatives to toilet paper. Julie Kenney and her group conflicted what we do scenarios. She had, getting a post about, what you can do. What are some alternatives? She said. Well, what can we do about this? So, several people, including myself, we kind of brainstormed and put some things forth, and there was everything from cut up sheets, pillowcases, whatever. Use them and rewash them. You can use a sports bottle as a bidet. One of them squeezy sports bottles. I know it sounds bizarre, but it can happen. You have paper towels, those can be cut up, but I wouldn't suggest flushing those because you might back up your toilet. There's so many things. People in the woods use leaves. I mean, there's so many things out there right now that can be used as an alternative. So, I'm really thinking that might be a good deal. Somebody just sent me via messenger. They said you could, what was it say? Oh, nobody's gonna do that. Said you could rip out your car seat linings and use that. Well, I mean you could, but why would you? That just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean I guess you could. That's true. I mean, for me, I think the best alternative, if you can't do it, is like we said, use a sports bottle as a bidet. You know, soak the area with water and then just use a sheet or whatever, and then you can rewash those and use them again. It's disgusting. Nobody wants to do it, but I mean, if you have no alternatives, that's probably what you need to do. The stores are not completely out of toilet paper. Most of them do have some. You just have to catch them on when they're stocking. And a lot of stores now, thank God, posted posted limits on things. You can only have, most places it's two. You're only allowed two things. And I wish they would have done that to begin with, because that's what really caused all this. And it wasn't just panicked buyers. People think, oh, it was all just a few people who bought up everything. And that's not true. I mean, in some cases, maybe. But a lot of it was, too. These stores aren't used to having that many people a day buying in bulk. Do you know what I mean? Like, they may have, 400 to 2,000 people a day normally, and they're just there to get a few things. Yeah, a couple customers are filling up a cart, but for the most part, people are just running in and running out. And they had, sometimes upwards to 3 to 10,000 people in one day coming in to buy up water and toilet paper. The toilet paper thing kills me. I mean, I did too, not to that extent. I bought some for myself and for my kids, as I have one daughter who has 4 kids. So it's like, I wanted to make sure that they were covered, and I got them 2 packs, which is not unreasonable. But the thing is, even if you get the reasonable people like myself and you get like 5,000 of us in that store, well, there's 10,000 packs of toilet paper right there. Boom, gone. So I keep seeing these posts about these people that have like 14 packs of toilet paper stacked to the ceiling, and that's really the minority of the shoppers. It really is. I know there were people that were doing it, but it really was the minority where I live anyways. So you have that, and then you have the people with the bottled water, cases and cases, and now they're putting limits on that. I'm so happy to see that. You have no idea. There was something else. One thing that angered me, and it really, really, really angered me, is when I seen people grabbing baby wipes in lieu of toilet paper. I could not believe that they were doing that. That to me was just horrible. There were grown people there saying, oh, they don't have any toilet paper, there's baby wipes left. They literally said that. Well, there's no toilet paper, but there's baby wipes. So they would rather wipe their butt, instead of somebody with babies, which is, there was one day in particular, and I can remember going to see, and the wipes were almost empty, and I called my daughter, and I said, hey, do you have enough wipes for the babies? Because she has two under 3. And she's like, well, we got 1 pack. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy you a box. So there was a box there that had 6 wipes in it, which is not unreasonable. She's got all these kids. So I was getting that for her. And there was just some single packs on the shelves. Well, people were grabbing them like mad. Now this is, I believe, it's Family Dollar. And I'm in line, and these people are looking at me and looking at that box of wipes in my cart. They're like looking at me, looking at the box, and I'm thinking to myself, you grab that box and I am going to break your arm, But this is the kind of things that are happening. And this is probably something these people probably didn't even need them. It was just the point that they wanted to have them. And this is where we go into the other subject of people overbuying, because there are people doing it, but it's like you're getting all this stuff and you're storing it in your house or apartment, wherever you live, and it's like, what are you going to do when all this is over and you're stuck with all this crap, Look at that guy. There was a story that somebody had sent me, guy in, I think, Tennessee or something, literally took a U-Haul and went like all over counties buying up hand sanitizer and toilet paper and all this stuff. And now he has his garage full of stuff, or had, and he wasn't able to sell it because people reported him. So here he was, it was like something ridiculous, like 17,000 bottles. So he bought up all this thinking he was going to sell it, and they're not, and now he's donating it. Which is a good thing he's donating it, but still, it irks me. It goes right up my butt sideways that these people do stuff like this, you know? I just cannot believe it's even a thing that people are still doing this. And now we're going on to the food. It's like the first things to disappear were the hand sanitizer, which that I can kind of understand. People are paranoid of germs, whatever. And, you know, and I hate to say this about my own countrymen, but it's true. We are lazy. Nobody wants to do anything the long way. Oh, we don't want to wash our hands for 20 seconds. So we're going to do the hand sanitizer as we're walking away, whatever. So I can at least understand that a little bit. And then the toilet paper, I can kind of understand that too, because people were paranoid. Okay, we're not, because we're hearing these stories. We're hearing these stories in Australia and you know, Japan and England. We're hearing these stories of like all these shortages. So what happened? We all freaked out, went to the store and bought toilet paper because we were afraid of running out. But then we weren't thinking ahead. It's like, okay, well, guess what's next? Water. You can't find water anywhere right now. I mean, you know, you might have a gallon here, a gallon there, but for the most part, you can't, except for Aquafina, which is really weird that you can find that. And so, you got that. You still have sodas everywhere. You want some Pepsi or Coke, you got that on the shelves everywhere. You know, and that's another thing people don't understand. You can get your liquid intake every day. It doesn't have to be water. As long as you're getting so many ounces of liquid, you know what I mean? Other things can be counted as liquid, Jello, coffee, tea, you know, all kinds of things. You don't have to drink strictly water. But, you know, they pounded that in your head for years, so people believe it. Okay, so you have that. And then the next thing to disappear, which is really bizarre, is meats. The meats are gone, man. You go to the store and you can't even buy a chicken leg now. They're nowhere. I couldn't even believe it. The meat aisle was completely just wiped out. And I'm thinking to myself, what are y'all going to be doing with all this meat, you know? So, I'm guessing they have deep freezers or something. But again, these meats are not infinite, you know what I mean? You can't keep them in the freezer for like 15 years and they're still going to be good. There's limits. They're going to go bad even in the freezer. So we have that. And now with all the kids being out of school, of course, like the Chef Boyardee, you know, SpaghettiOs or whatever, spaghetti rings, all that kind of stuff, those shelves are empty. Like all the pre-whatever, you know, the stuff that you just kind of have to heat up to eat, it's gone. All that kid stuff is gone. There's still, I really thought there's still macaroni and cheese on the shelves, which I thought was weird. So I figured that would all be gone, but people are telling me in other states that's gone too. So, we have macaroni and cheese there, but like all the other stuff that has protein in it, basically, like the chef, you know, all those kind of things, the microwavable or, you know, throw a can in a stove and heat it up, that kind of stuff is gone. There's still, I noticed at my place, I don't know about anybody else, but like the Dinty Moore, like those instant meals, you know, that you put in the microwave, those are still there, but they're like $3 each, so of course they're still going to be there for now. Somebody just texted me. They just messaged me a chef's hat. It's like, well, yeah, and people do need to start cooking, but if you're a mom or a single dad, you know, who needs to work and your kids are at home, you don't want to trust your kids cooking stuff, you know. And I'm sorry that all this keeping them from school has just created a whole bunch of latchkey kids. Right now, you're going to have 9 and 10-year-olds watching 4 and 5-year-olds because the parents have to work or they're going to be homeless. So that is exactly what this did. It created a whole bunch of latchkey kids. So right now you've got 10 and 11-year-olds open up cans, heating them up for the littler kids or whatever, which is, you know, I did it. Everybody did it. Well, you know, when I was younger, I used to be alone with my sister. I mean, I'm not saying it's the most horrible thing in the world, but for kids who've never really had to do it before, it's a little scary. So that's why people aren't cooking. They don't want their children touching the stove while they're gone, which I can totally understand that. Um, so now another weird thing is the diapers are disappearing. Okay, first it was the wipes, now it's the diapers. Now people are freaking out and bulk buying diapers. I, I understand you think you're not going to be able to get to the store, but that's not true. You're going to be able to get to the store. Even if we go on lockdown, the whole country's on quarantine, you'll still be, even in Italy, I believe they can go to the store. I think it's only like one person in a household can go, because of course they don't want it mobbed, but you can still go. You can still go to the gas station. You can still go to work if they have work. And we'll discuss that in a little bit too. But there's alternatives to things. You don't need to do all this. Now, I highly suggest that a lot of people, if you have cloth diapers, start using them. I mean, I know it's a pain in the butt. I realize that, but it's a lot easier than having to run through the city trying to find a pack of diapers that aren't there. I really don't know why people are bulk buying these. It doesn't make sense at all. So then, now, I'm trying to think all the aisles. And of course, feminine hygiene products are almost gone. It's like you wear pads or tampons or whatever. Sorry, guys, if your ears are, like you're like, ah, but yeah, no, it's true. They're almost gone. All the fresh fruits are there, though. You go into the fruit department there, like fruit and vegetables, they're all there. Well, of course, they've been exposed. Nobody wants those. The stores need to learn to cover that stuff up. Like, I did go and I bought grapes, but what I did is I lifted up the case that was exposed, went to the one underneath and ripped it open and grabbed a bag out of there, Because I wasn't taking from the top. I don't know who sneezed on that. I don't know who was breathing on that. Really bizarre, but that they would have that uncovered. And then on the other side of the aisle there, where the vegetables are, on the other side of my store anyways, the bread's gone. Like, there's no bread. Except for, like, the weird, like, light breads or whatever, or like, there's hot dog buns and hamburger buns, but there's no bread. So, of course, you can improvise and use the hamburger buns. Hamburger, hot dog, whatever. So, there's so many things. I mean, it just cracks me up that people are freaking out right now. But, I mean, I do understand it to a certain extent. I do. But you gotta stop. I mean... And if you're having trouble, you're having problems, call a local church, call places, there might be something they can do to help you with the food and things like that. One thing that they have told me, people who are in Italy, I talked to people who live there, that they are struggling because their jobs were shut down because they're on the quarantine. Because, unless you work in an industry that is truly needed, like needed, they're gonna shut you down. Like if you work in a boutique or something, you ain't going to work. So that's something you need to prepare for. But if you're like a truck driver, a plumber, electrician, somebody who works in healthcare, things like that, you're probably gonna work. Stores, grocery stores, you betcha you're working. So. And even some of the fast food places that are remaining open, they're going to be closing their dining rooms, but they'll be delivering. So I think that's kind of cool. But it still remains the fact that the Italian government is actually helping people, like forbidding, rents and mortgages and things like that. So that I thought was really cool. And I don't know if it's happening I can't vouch for the entire country of Italy, but I'm just saying where these people are. They did. So, and I don't know if they go, by towns over there or whatever, like, we do here. So, but hopefully the state you live in does this. He does this for you. Politically speaking, they're so divided right now. Everybody's like, it's Trump's fault. Oh no, this is so-and-so's fault. It's like, oh my God, you guys knock it off. You're not helping. You're not helping with the Trump bashing, and you're not helping with the Trump glorification. Just stop it. Just worry about what needs to be worried about. Because right now you can't control anything, so there's no reason for you to be sitting there on, what you should be doing is figuring out a way to help your family, help yourself. Because these people ain't going to help you, which we have said forever, insist upon yourself, because that's what happens. Let's see, next question here. Do you think we're going to lose power? I don't know. Honestly, I don't foresee the power going out myself, but you never know. There could be like a freak storm or something that takes out power, and maybe, all the line workers are sick and won't be able to come fix it. You never know. I mean, so as always, be prepared. Have some candles, have some flashlights, have things, extra blankets, whatever that you can use. Make sure you have another way to cook. Because if the power does go out and for some reason it can't go back on, but like I said, I don't foresee that. I really don't, as a problem anyways, but if it does happen, this is where your skills, your prepping, your know-how needs to come into play. People need to stop saying, the government's going to save me, or the government's trying to screw me, whatever it is, you've got to knock it off and just start, make sure you rely on yourself. Make sure you have things in order. There's no meat in the grocery store. Go hunting. I know, and there's people out there going, don't hurt the animals. Well, what the hell do you think the meat is in your store? So, go out and get you a freaking squirrel, a rabbit, whatever you got to do, Cook it thoroughly. Get a deer. It's in perfect, of course it's not preferred meat. Nobody wants to do that unless, you're, Daniel Boone or something. But trust me, if I had to, I would be having my slingshot out there, and that little bunny out back would be my dinner in 2 shakes. So, birds, quail, duck. There's ducks in ponds, Everybody's got them in their town. There's ponds somewhere. Go grab you a duck. I mean, it's a horrible thing to think about, but I mean, if it comes to it, that's what you need to do. Like get that book on edibles of your area. Find out what you can eat. Find out what you can eat. I mean, there's so many things. Good God. There's so many things. Cattails, those things that look like, cigars hanging on the end of a weed. Those things, you can make flour out of it. All kinds of uses for that. So, I mean, only in spring, I think, but, look these things up, figure it out, right now you still have the internet, you have things, start looking things up that's useful, not what Trump said about it, not, and if you're that worried about what's going on, go to the CDC site. The CDC has a site you can go to, and there's 10 million questions that they already have pre-done for you, so that way you know what to do. Bing, I think it is. It's like bing.com/COVID or something. You can go there and you can find there's a COVID-19 tracker. You can find out exactly where, where it's at. You go to the drop-down list, it'll say United States. Click on that, it'll say states. You click on that, it will tell you the counties. Which counties have what? Which states have how many things, I think we're up to like 4,000 cases in the U.S. right now. According to Bing, it's over 4,000, but according to the CDC, it's like 3,000. So I don't know where they're getting these 1,000 people, but I think the Bing one is counting like all the islands and things like that in the provinces of the United States, like Puerto Rico, things like that. I think they're counting those as the final count for the United States, where the CDC is only counting the states. So, I'm not quite sure how that works. But anyways, even if it's 3,000, we have that. So, and there's been quite a few deaths. I mean, go in and check it out. It'll tell you everything you need to know instead of guessing or trying to figure out or waiting for the president to open his mouth and the CDC people standing kind of nodding. I mean, don't waste your time. Go straight to the source. So, now we have another issue, which is the homeless. Where are they going? Because now a lot of cities are closing libraries, which is, we all know what that is. It's not a hotspot. I'm not saying hotspot, but it's a place for them to go where they can kick back, they can read, they can go to the bathroom, they can wash their face, whatever. And then if these other stores close, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I mean, people aren't thinking about this. These poor people are out there. They're in tents. They're in these places, and they don't have a place to, if all these places close, they don't have any place to go wash up. So are we going to have places for them? Washing stations, different things like that? I mean, I just don't know. So that's been a concern of mine. So what are they going to do when they start getting desperate? So we have to think about these things. And where are they going to go? If, like, we're not supposed to be on the streets and there's a curfew, where are they going to put them? Where are they going to put all these homeless people? That they can't just go arrest everybody in Tent City. I mean, what's going to happen? These are the things that I want answers to, that people aren't even thinking about. And this is why I say we need to be prepared. Because how do you even prepare for that? I mean, so what are these towns going to do with their homeless? I mean, we have them here, and we know, and I live in a fairly, not small town, but it's not gigantic, but there's homeless here, so what are they going to do with those people? Are they planning on just arresting them, throwing them in jail for being homeless? What, are they going to put them in a quarantine center? What's going to happen to them? All right, so, I mean, these are answers that people should be, like, lobbying their lawmakers, be like, hey, what is going on with this, Because it does affect you, and people who think it doesn't, it does, because these people are going to be desperate, and they're going to need a place to go, they're going to need supplies, they're going to need a place to wash up. So, most definitely, we need to figure that one out, for sure. We need to figure out what's going on with these kids. I mean, people have their children home that were not prepared for it. They literally use their I know it's a crappy thing to do, but we've all done it. Use the public school as a daycare. We have, So it's like that got taken away. They pay their taxes. They have nobody to watch their children. Some people are home with, 5 and 6 year olds. What do you do with them? Then they're being put in daycare. They're saying the whole purpose of closing down the schools is to not have all the kids together licking each other, whatever kids do, And it's like they're being put in daycare in somebody's house, which is a way smaller environment. So now you got these kids sitting around biting each other. I mean, what, come on. There's got to be some kind of give here on what needs to be done. They need to have better answers than what they're having, and people need to figure out some things too. Definitely need to figure out some things. Let's see. Let me see another question here. Somebody just messaged me and they said, okay, well, what do you mean, what about hygiene? I don't think you're I mean, are you homeless? I mean, I can understand that, but it's like, what, if you're not, what, don't you have a shower? I mean, okay, wait, what? Oh, what about hygiene if you run out of toilet paper? I think I just covered that, but I mean, worst case scenario, you can't get things or anything, you can always take a shower real quick. I mean, take a 3-minute shower, wash yourself off. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. There's some people here in this country that are doing some very unscrupulous things. I see here there was a guy on a corner selling baby wipes to families for $10 a pack. $10. So those things normally run like $1.50 to like $3 a pack. So that's ridiculous. I seriously hope like fire ants go right up your ass and just take root. That is so sick. Why I hope somebody saw that story and arrested that guy. That is insane. $10 a pack. Yeah, see, that's like those people after hurricanes that sell like cases of water for like $20-$30. I mean, I seriously hope karma catches up with you. Oh God, I really want it to badly. Badly. Somebody said, you work in healthcare, aren't you worried about your health? Well, of course I am. But I also work with elderly people, and I'm not going to abandon them. I'm not going to stay home, and be like, I'm going to take care of myself and nobody else and just leave these people to rot. I mean, I'm less scared there. I've got gowns, masks, and gloves, so, I mean, I went to the store today. I was more afraid of that place than I would be ever work. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I gotta tell you guys this quick story. I was at the store and this guy came in a hazmat suit. I'm talking white hazmat suit, the hood, it was all one piece type thing, and he had a gas mask on. And they kicked him out, which I don't blame him. He not only is inciting fear, he's just drawing attention to himself, and plus the cameras can't recognize his face if he tries to rob somebody. So, yeah, I'd kick him out too. But yeah, he can't. It scared the hell out of me. I'm standing there. I didn't remember what I was looking at, and all of a sudden I see this, someone come, and I look up, and oh my God, it looked like something out of a friggin' nightmare coming out. Like, I kind of jumped a little, like, what the hell? I was ready to fight. But yeah, he just walked past. He was just coming in to get supplies. But I mean, people, if you're that scared to go out in public, then order your stuff online and go pick it up and have them bring it out to your car for real. And if you're saying, oh, well, that picker touches my stuff, well, guess what? Everything you touch in the store, somebody touched. So, I mean, it's a crazy, vicious cycle, but that was too much. Yeah, that was definitely an interesting moment. Oh, and then something else happened when I was at the checkout. Like, this is a regular grocery store, like a grocery store, not like a Walmart type thing. And there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 registers open, and then plus there's like 4 more self-checkout. And this poor old guy, he was sitting there bagging up his groceries, and you hear, achoo, like really loud, like he sneezed. And like everybody, like you could hear a pin drop, like everybody just stopped what they were doing and they were staring at him. Me included, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was standing there, I'm talking with the cashier, we hear like this, how guys sneeze, and it's like, it was loud. So like, we all just drop everything and just look like, you could seriously hear a pin drop, and that guy just kind of stopped and looked around like, what? Like, what did I do? So, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, it wasn't funny for him, of course, but it was just odd to see. It's like, something that would have happened even 4 weeks ago wouldn't have meant crap to anybody. So, now all of a sudden you've got this guy who's sneezing, everybody just, we all just kind of like, oh God, now we all got control. We got COVID now. Oh my God. No, I'm just kidding. Fast food places. Here's another thing people say, well, I don't go to the store, I go to fast food. Okay, so now you're talking people making your food, or they wearing masks. I mean, these are things you have to understand. I mean, I'm not saying be completely paranoid, but I mean, come on. You're in a drive-thru, you don't know what they're doing in there, so you might want to rethink that one. I went by Golden Corral today. It was packed in the parking lot. People were at this buffet where you touch these things, tongs and whatever else, and their chocolate fountain or whatnot, and it's packed. So we've got this disease running all over the country, and people are going to Golden Corral. Yeah. Then there was another buffet place here in town, and they have like a buffet pizza style place, and it was packed. So, I don't understand why people are like hyper buying toilet paper if they're going to go out to places like this. It just doesn't make sense to me. It makes like 0 sense. You're going to be packed in like cattle in a place, and you're all touching these tongs, and you're all touching the plates, and you're all touching things, and little kids are licking stuff and putting it back in the buffet. And I always hear people, well, they got a sneeze guard. That don't mean crap when people are on their hands, and then touching the ladle or the tongs or whatever. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't go there. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I just think that's stupid myself. But, like, me and a friend of mine recently went to the IHOP, Him and I decided we wanted IHOP, we woke up in the morning, we're like, we want pancakes, whatever, So it took us a while to get ready. When we decided we're just going to order online and bring it back home. But again, I wasn't thinking about the fact other people are making my food, So it's like a vicious circle. Now, I've just come to the conclusion it's almost like the flu. You're not going to be able to contain it. You can do whatever you want to. I mean, what are you going to do? Seal off your windows, seal off your lives? It doesn't make sense to me. But it definitely 100% does not make sense to go to a buffet. Sorry. I didn't like those places to begin with. And then you had this thing floating around now. I'm good. So, I mean, that's up to you if you wanna wheel, and throw the dice on that one or whatever, Russian roulette, put the bullet in, take it a spin. That's, hey, whatever. And something recently happened in my own family. I have an older sister. She's 10 years older than me, and her daughter was throwing a birthday party for her son, my sister's grandson, and she was having it at this, like, I don't know, trampoline place or something, and my sister didn't go because she was trying to self-isolate because she was afraid, of course, her age group is what they're attacking, even my age group, they're saying you can't live through this or whatever, you got a good chance not to, or a better chance, I should say. And the family got mad at her, she didn't go to the party. And I'm like, why would you be mad at that? Why would you be mad that your mother doesn't want to risk her friggin' life? And this is in California, mind you, of all places. It's like California, where it's like, almost ground zero in the United States. And it's like, you might as well be anyways. And it's like, you're getting mad over that. So if you have a family member who decides to self-isolate, do not shame them. Do not make fun of them. Just because you want to go out and lick spoons at the Golden Corral or, whatever, lick the disease chocolate fountain, that's on you. But don't make fun of people, Don't sit there and shame them and, call them paranoid and stupid and all this other stuff. They're just trying to protect themselves. So that kind of got to me a little bit. So yeah, because they were like, well, everybody else went. I don't care what everybody else is doing. If somebody decides to self-quarantine, they don't want to be out in the public, and they decide they want to be in their home and they just want to stay safe, then good for them. So. All right, moving on from that and on to this. A lot of bands have canceled concerts. A lot of them actually have canceled their concerts, and I'm sure the government had something to do with that. Probably gave them a little push. But Lizzie Hale, she cracks me up from Hailstorm. I gotta read you her. I don't know if it was her face or whatever it was. It was one I don't know if it was Instagram or whatever it was, but it was hilarious. Yeah, it was her Instagram. She said, "Dear fellow musicians and concert goers, I understand your need for live music. I understand your need to perform on stage. I'm with you. I have that same primal need, especially in these tough times, or tough and confusing times. But it is extremely irresponsible to promise or promote or participate in large gatherings at this time. The whole "you can't scare us" mentality is ridiculous. The virus is not a terrorist, and it will not be discouraged or impressed by your bravery. This is a pandemic, and by encouraging or attending large gatherings of people, you are contributing to the deaths of people who do not have healthy immune systems to fight it. This is someone's grandparent, someone's child, someone's sibling, someone's mom, dad, or someone's friend. Be thankful if your only hardship in this whole thing is that you're bored, or have to pinch pennies for a while until this blows over. Because there are people right now that you don't know, and even some that you do know, that are fighting to remain healthy and live through this. Don't be part of the problem. Go lick your toilet seat if you want to prove how unafraid you are of viruses. Then go be creative. Write a song, write a book. Practice your instrument, perform via instant live, discover new music, learn a new skill, watch movies, play card games, etc. We are extremely fortunate to live in the age of the internet, where we are able to be social, connect, encourage each other, and keep the ball somewhat rolling until things settle down. It's important to remember that we are all in this together. We must act as one human race by putting aside our pride, our egos, our frivolous wants, and petty differences. Respect your fellow humans, stay home. We will get through this the way our species has for billions of years. Well, not billions, Lizzie. But anyway, and look forward to when we reach the end of this crisis. Oh, what a party it'll be. See you on the other side. Now, see, I thought that was like just the coolest thing ever. I really did. I thought that was so neat of her to say things like that, So, but that was me. I totally agree with her. I totally agree 100% that if people are... I watched a video of a guy today. I don't even know who the heck it was. But this idiot's walking into a casino, a Native American casino. And he's like cussing and calling everybody stupid and something messed up his fishing derby or something. I can't remember. And he's like, and I'm going to touch all these machines and the handles and I'm going to wipe it all over my face. So he did it. Then he's like, F you, COVID-19. It's like, really, dude? You know, the only thing that proves is like, you're just a complete and utter asshole. I mean, that's the only thing that proved. So, yeah, I cannot believe that somebody would even do that. It was like just the dumbest thing ever. Just the dumbest thing. And it's the same thing. Like she said, you got these people, I'm not going to let this virus scare me. It's like this virus isn't trying to scare you. It's a freaking virus, you know? It does not have a personality. It does not have an AK-47. It's just a virus. It lives. It's going to do what it does, whether you're scared of it or not. You know? Whether you want to believe it or not, Tinkerbell, it exists. So, yes, please. I mean, nothing else, just wash your hands. You definitely don't touch things and rub it on your face like that idiot did. That was like the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. But anyways, so yes, let's discuss hand washing. They're saying 20 to, depending on the site you go to, 20 to 25 seconds, wash your hands. Wash your hands. That's like the key to everything right now. Get some hot water, warm water, whatever. Get some soap. Rub your hands real good, scrub them up good, and dry them. And you should be good. That's it. If you have, the gel, the hand gel, whatever, use it, I mean, if you have the hand sanitizer, use it. Isn't that weird? You can think of a word and all of a sudden it's gone. Anyways, old age. So, yeah, if you got the hand sanitizer, use it. I mean, for real. And another thing, too, you can definitely avoid all these things by just not going out to places. I mean, it sucks. It does. It's a sacrifice, but what are you gonna do, I mean, they're doing it in other countries because they have to. Hold on. I'm getting another message here. Okay, this is from a friend in Australia. She says they've emptied the bloody shelves of everything. She said you can't even find macaroni. I had to use instant noodles to make spaghetti the other night. What you Americans call ramen. So they've emptied the macaroni over there. So, what the hell? Why are you emptying macaroni? It's all carbs, man. You need protein. But anyways, I guess it'll get you by if you need it. But, oh my gosh, this is insane. They've emptied the bloody shells. Okay, well, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Poor Australia, man. They go through those fires. Now they're going through this, the COVID-19 and empty shells. What the... Y'all did something wrong to somebody somewhere, man. So you got these we've discussed this before. Australia's got like these gigantic beasts, on their island. And now they've got wildfires and COVID-19. It's like someone needs to do a cleansing ritual or something over there. And yeah, so it's there. Oh, hold on. I got another one coming through. I don't even know what that is. But apparently something over in England... Oh, it's their breakfast. Okay, I get it. They said you can't even get a good brekkie anymore because everything's empty. Had to have, I don't know, something on toast the other night, and that's all I could have. So apparently breakfast in England is not going well because they can't get all their things over there. So it's everybody, folks. It's not just us. Brekkie, I never heard that before. That's cool. Okay, so we're having these issues, we're having these problems, and we all, as humans, need to, realize that we need to work together. If we work apart, we're just going to destroy each other right now. And that's what's going to happen. So all you people out there saying you're going to rob people or whatever, don't do it. Just don't do it. As it'll come back to you, trust me. And again, the people gouging people, just, trust me, you'll get yours. You will get yours someday. Alright, now we have religious fanatics. We have these people out there that are claiming it's the end of the world. Of course it's it's always the end of the world. It's the end of the world. We all need to repent and God is punishing us and all this. Knock it off, all right? Come on. Number one, the whole free will thing, the flood, the rainbow. Don't you remember that? I do. I went to Sunday school. Every time you people think that something happens in the United States, it's the end of the freaking world. What about these third world countries but surviving in like 3 pieces of rice a day, huh? You think it was the end of the world for them? No, it's been happening for a long time now. Just because you're suffering in the US of A doesn't mean the world's coming to an end. So stop with that. I mean, that is crazy. You're just scaring people and you're ridiculous. You're just absolutely ridiculous. Because you know what's going to happen towards the end? People are going to be, going and using the carpet in your church for toilet paper. So just knock it off. I mean, for real, man. This is, I've been hearing this for like days now. End of the world, repent. End of the world, repent. Well, the last thing I knew, I haven't seen anybody come out of the sky. So, Jesus ain't coming. So, and then we have the whole free will. We've basically created these viruses. These super bugs, because of idiots, not finishing their antibiotics and things like that, and vaccines and whatnot have just created these super bugs, because what happens when you're attacking something and they block you, you come back twice as strong and keep going. And that's what these viruses do. So we've basically done it to ourselves. This is not the end of the world. The world will keep going. Even if every human in this entire earth got wiped out, the earth would keep going, because that's what it does. So, anyway, I had to touch base on that because it is just utter, just rubbish, And I'm so tired of people, the last thing, remember that comet, those people like drink vodka and took a bunch of drugs and put bags over there. So they're going to run the tail of the comet because it was the end of the world. Well, guess what? We're still here, Spanish flu, I bet, back in, what was it, 1990? But those people thought it was the end of the world. We're all still here. And it was way worse than this one, so. Which, by the way, the Spanish flu in St. Louis, the mayor of that city at the time shut down all the restaurants and everything. And everybody thought he was crazy, but they actually attributed him to the fact that his city was saved. Because he did that. He put everybody in isolation. So they did it back then. So we're doing it now. It makes sense. Oh, conspiracy. Let's go down the conspiracy alley. Here we go. Conspiracies. We all love a good conspiracy. Okay, here's one. The COVID-19 is a cover-up. Cover-up because the government knows that aliens are coming. Oh, cool. I kind of hope that one's real. Yeah, this one, they said that they're trying to keep us all indoors so we don't see the UFOs. We still got windows. I mean, we got cameras, things like that. So, if that's what they're using to cover it up, that's a pretty lame cover up. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. That would be totally cool if that one was true. I would dig it. But, I don't see it happening. So, let's see. Next conspiracy. Let's see. COVID-19 was built in a lab to wipe out the entire human race. Well, that's pretty counterproductive, is it not? Why would you create a virus to wipe out the whole human race when you're human? That does not make sense. Maybe it was invented by robots. Maybe Terminator 2 is true. No, just kidding. Oh my god. Alright, so let's discuss this. And then there's another one that runs along the same line. They're saying that it was invented in a lab and it was spread all over because they're trying to get rid of the elderly and trying to get rid of older people and trying to thin out the earth. Alright, let's say it's doing that. Let's say that was the whole point and the whole everything, okay? So, I don't think it was. I mean, it's possible, because, I've been saying it for years. I think that, they've been slowly trying to take out the baby boomers, like in nursing homes and things like that, because I've noticed over the years, like, they've done things like take away the alarms on the bed so we didn't know when they were getting up. They say things like they have the right to fall on their head and crack it if they want, making it so basically healthcare workers really can't protect them unless you're doing one-on-one, which we, obviously cannot. So that's one conspiracy I might actually kind of cling to a little bit, but it's like a big doubt. They created this to wipe out some of the elderly. Well, It's possible. But then why would you unleash it on the rest of the people? Because there's people of all ages dying. It's not just the elderly. There are other people dying. So, and then it's also an inconvenience, and it's also causing people not to work and lose their homes and whatever else. So, I don't see that either. So, all right. Next in Conspiracy Alley, we have military. Okay. Military movement, which, I will admit this has happened before. You know, like the day, President Obama made gay marriage legal was around the same time that we opened up ties to Cuba, which you didn't hear about on the news. So, it was all kind of, really convenient. And there was a lot of things, and other presidents have used diversion as a tool to move military and things like that. And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm all for gay marriage, whatever. I've been fighting for that for years, but I just found the timing very odd at that time. So, but I do know that the government uses diversion. That goes way back to the time of the Romans. They would have these crowds of people outside pissed off because they're starving or whatever, but that's what they would do. They wanted to divert something, they would starve their people out. They would make things so miserable and horrible for their people. Then they would storm the castle and then all of a sudden they would start fights. They would divide the people and start fights amongst them. So they would be a little bit better to this group of people, but not this group of people. So in the meantime, where all the people are fighting, the palace is taking stuff out of it and carpets and things. So stuff like that has happened. Our government has used diversion. It's not a secret. Do I think this is diversion? Possibly. But our troops are always on the move. Our troops are moving. But right now they've grounded our troops. So that kind of squashed that one when they said the troops aren't moving, they'd no domestic travel for them or their families. So, but can the active military, can they still move them other places? Sure they can. We all know that there's been troops in the Middle East and things like that. Whatever. It happens. Let's see. Here's one that kind of coincides with that about the military oil. They're like, why? That's why the oil prices are so low. They did this to boost the economy. What? Okay. I'm not sure how that's boosting the economy because the stock markets have fallen. And, we filled our Federal Reserve with all this cheap oil, which has basically screwed the oil industry in this country. And our president said, now we're free of whatever, but now you got all these oil people that are totally screwed. So, and I know people are out there going, screw the oil industry, whatever, but there's a lot of workers that did not deserve that. So I'm just going to put that out there. Do I think it's a diversion for military or otherwise? Anything's possible, but I don't see how putting us in quarantine in the country has anything to do with troop movement, because we still have internet, whatever else. So, I don't know. I'm suspicious by nature, and everybody knows that about me, and I'm usually the first one to jump down that rabbit hole conspiracy island, so... There's a million things it could be. Other people are thinking there's a sunburst coming. This is another one. There's a sunburst coming, and they want everybody indoors, and that was the whole point of this. And honestly, what I've read about sunbursts and things like that, if it actually happens, we're all probably going to die anyways, whether you're inside or not. So, didn't you ever watch that movie? Which a lot of people confused this show and our site with, because they had Planet Bob on there, and this is Planet B.O.B. So, I don't think that. I'm squashing that one. Gone. Okay, 5G. This is the biggest one out there right now. Now, this is the one that I'm thinking might have some validity to it, because there was scientists that came out, not that long ago, that were saying that the 5G towers were causing, low immune systems and causing people to be sick and all this other stuff. And they've been putting up these towers all over the place right now. And they're in the process right now of actually gearing it up. So a lot of people think that they're doing these quarantines on people to keep them inside because they're setting up these 5G networks. And the 5G, the radiation or whatever that's coming off of them is going to make a lot of people sick, and they're trying to cover it up. And they think that people have already gotten sick because of it, and that's why they're trying to put everybody inside so it doesn't do it anymore. It's possible. I mean, of all the conspiracies, I see that one as the most probable to happen. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's not the opinion of this station or anybody in it, but I'm sure Ike will agree with me on this one, that the 5G towers do. Regular cell towers put off a lot of crap, The old cell phones, the old ones, remember the flip phone, they used to cause, brain cancer in people. So imagine what these 5G towers are doing. So yeah, this is possible. I'm not going to tell you it's not, because it absolutely 100% is possible. So, because you got scientists saying it did, but then you got scientists that are saying, no, this is not possible, it is not going to happen. But most of the people that are saying it's not going to happen are media people that need this 5G crap. So, anything's possible. Let's see. Yeah, that one to me, it has at least it's got some base to it. If, as far as conspiracy goes, that one's got some base to it. Here's another one. They're chemtrails. They're setting off chemtrails in the night skies to be set down because they're trying to kill the virus, and that's why they want everybody inside. Okay. I guess. I don't know what would, it's still getting on your cars and your whatever, so I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see. And of course, there's conspiracies around. This one cracks me up. Disneyland. Disneyland and Disney World are being closed because, of course, Disney, the super evil corporation, is in on this whole COVID. Oh, come on. I know Disney is like some, there's some underhanded crap going on there, because they're owning like everything in sight. But for them to be part of releasing a disease that's going to make them lose money in their parks, that doesn't make any sense. So that one's going in the squash it bucket too, because I don't believe that. I just don't. Oh, and here's another one. They're using the Disney parks and their underground tunnels as emergency response places, and they're going to turn Disneyland into a quarantine center. No, they're not, because you know how they would have to just totally clean that place. I mean, no, it would never happen. I don't think so, anyways. I mean, unless they're going to build a hospital on it, I can't see it. I mean, anything's possible, of course, but I don't see that happening. Okay. Let's see. I'm just reading like the cliff notes here. I've got a million of them that people are saying. I like that alien one though. That's kind of cool. Let's hope that one's real. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. They're covering up Yellowstone, which I did hear that like magma's coming to the surface or something like that. They think that they're using this to cover up the fact that Yellowstone is actually going to erupt. But if Yellowstone erupts, from what I understand, we're all going to die anyway, so I don't see the point in that. Magma's coming to the surface. They're lying about it, and they created this disease to keep everybody inside from inhaling the toxic fumes. Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. That one's a little off for me. Just a little bit. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, because if Yellowstone started going off, they would cover it up because people would just panic because all the craziness that went around with, the craziness that went with the rumors of Yellowstone and all this. So, yeah, I'm sure people would absolutely just freak the hell out. So, yeah, so I could understand them covering that up. I would too, So, I'm wondering, I hope I don't cut out when I go and check that. But yeah, Yellowstone is something that I definitely, I mean, they would cover it up. I mean, honestly, if I were a government official, I would cover it up too, because, oh my God, the panic that would cause. But then again, the aliens too, that would cause a lot of panic. People would freak. Not me. I'd be like, come get me, take me home. So, I don't know, there's rumors out there, there's myths, there's Of course, oh wow, this one's really out there. This is a myth of something about a portal and somebody coming out of this portal and bringing this ancient disease that wiped out a bunch of animals. And this was before oh, this is, yeah, I'm not gonna read the rest. This is stupid. Okay, so that one's like gone out of here. Some of these are kind of funny though, you gotta admit. That one was pretty wild. Something about an ancient something or other elemental that came out and created this disease to wipe out the humans that are mistreating the planet that they created. You know, sure. Like I said, I believe anything's possible, but that one's a little out there. Okay, let's see. There's been some funny stuff that's come from this too. Some like funny memes and things online that I thought was pretty cool. And I'm sorry, humor is a part of survival, people. If you don't have a sense of humor, you will never survive if you don't have a sense of humor. I've seen all these people so serious and I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to entertain the idea. But there was a meme at John Travolta. There's a John Travolta where he's like going around, he's like looking at the shelves, he's got his hands up like, where is it? And then the Joker's looking around, and that one was hilarious. I've seen that. Let's see. There's one that I actually posted about the virus, basically, some people cough and they're afraid it's corona, and I cough and I'm just afraid I'm gonna piss myself, which is true, any woman knows that. So, if you don't like that, I mean, I've told people before, I believe in survival. But I am not like this strict, I'm gonna get rice beans and get my gun and get in the corner. I'm not that kind of person. I do not do that kind of survival. We do modern survival. That's what we teach. That's what we want on this show because it's a modern world. We do not live in a Mad Max world. I'm sorry. As much as everybody likes to pretend, it's not going to happen. So, we believe in modern survival. Modern survival is getting on your computer and looking up things. But I will say this. If you go to prepper groups, talk to a lot of the older preppers and people who are experienced that can actually tell you the right and wrong thing. Don't rely on Google, okay? There are a lot of sites that you can go to, like even our group here, the Planet B period O period B period on Facebook. You can go there and there's preppers there. Anybody will answer your questions. Ours is a little more offbeat. You're gonna find some, different things. There are different links to different things, and you'll find the funny memes and things like that. Survival Wolves on Facebook to me is one of the. It's really one of the more neutral. Most I guess you could say that it's a really good group for people to go to because you've got the professionalism of the preppers who are there that will help you with anything. They post helpful stuff. Then we still have humor in there. They usually don't let political stuff in. Sometimes it sneaks in when they're all asleep. Like today, there's one in there that needs to be taken down. But for the most part, it's a really good group, and you can go there and get some really good information. And like I said, it's a neutral group. They allow links and things like that. So it's like there's a news story you're not sure about. You post it and ask about it. People will give their opinion and tell you, like what they know and things like that. So it's a good group. And then there's a group called N8V Survivalists, which they don't talk about the virus at all. You won't see one single post about the virus in that group. But there's a lot of helpful information. Like for people who have kids at home or who can't find food, they can help you find food. So there's, there's so many ends of the spectrum out there. And then Julie Kenny, a friend of mine, she has a group called Conflicted What Would You Do, scenarios where people talk about different things and give their opinion. And it really is just an opinion group, but it's really good to go in there because you can get some information on things, So for me, those are the 4 core groups that I like to go to because it like Survival Wolves is Planet B.O.B. okay because it's mine. I go there, but Survival Wolves I go there a lot because like I said, it's kind of a neutral territory, and I like that. I like the fact that they let people because there's scared people out there. People are scared of this. There are people so scared they don't know what to do with themselves. And when you go into Survival Wolves, you can go in there and you can talk about it. And for the most part, the people will not, make fun of you, because Mike Ronan, the guy who owns that group, he will kick them out in two shakes. If anybody's harassing you, they will be out of that group in 2 seconds. So, but yeah, definitely go check those out. Um, and then this show, it's a lot of different things, helpful stuff, opinionated stuff. Things. It's usually a lot better with Denise here because we bounce stuff off each other and you don't have me just rambling all night. But like I said, she's not feeling well. And again, please everybody get your thoughts and prayers out to her because she's really been sick, a sick girl for a good week now or more. So most definitely. And for people who have their kids home, think of stuff to do besides TV, please. TV and internet, I know it's so easy. I used to do it too, throw in The Little Mermaid for my kids and walk away, Not walk out the door, walk into another room, I get it, it's easy. But at least try to do something, that was another thing. I just posted something recently about, things you can do with your kids. Like one thing is get out some Band-Aids and things like that from the dollar store and, teach your kids basic first aid. Even little ones, you can draw with a red pin on your arm. Draw the owie or the wound and show even a 3-year-old how to put on a Band-Aid and dress a wound. They'll remember. So, you never know. It might save your life someday. The older kid, you could teach them how to, use an ace bandage on their leg or a tourniquet, which, well, depending on the kid, I would teach that one too. They'd be trying to do it to their little brother or something, so you don't want that. Do different things about cleaning and coronavirus and teach them, washing their hands, keeping the house clean, make it look like a game, like they're kind of they're the protectors of the house. So they have to keep the house clean. Hey, you keep a clean house and they'll make them feel like they're actually doing something. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. Try to, if you can, I know it's so hard as a parent. I remember those days. Let them help in meal preparation, things like that, so that way they're not bored and they feel like they're doing something, because it makes you go insane. When I was a kid, you all have heard the story before, but I'm not going to get into it, but there was a whole bunch of tornadoes that hit Grand Island, Nebraska when I was a kid and I was there. And I can remember being on curfews and things like that and being stuck in the house, and it was just horrible. And back then we didn't have any of this. We literally just sat around kind of looking at each other, and Mom made us play cards and clean toilets, and there was nothing. So, try to make it a little better for them if you can. It'll help you and them. Also, please make time for yourselves, because with your kids home, it's going to put you on the edge. So even if it's 15 minutes in the bathroom, mommy time, you all stay out here, this is mom time. Even if it's just sitting in there on your phone playing a game or something, at least it's 15 minutes, that's all to you. Or go take a quick nap, do something, Go sit in your car. Watch a movie on Netflix in your car, just to kind of give yourself some time, because mental preparation is good too. So keeping your mental health in order is going to be key through this. So everybody stay safe out there. I'm going to get off here because I've been on here over an hour, and I'm sure y'all are done listening to me already. So, again, repeat, stop the panic buying. Any price gougers, I seriously hope fire ants go up your ass and just form a colony. Do what you need to do. I know it sucks. It sucks, but if they tell you to stay inside, use your head. Don't shame people. If you feel like you're going to be all brave and I'm not scared of this fire, don't shame people who stay home and actually adhere to the quarantines or whatever. Just, it's their choice. So, do what you got to do. And, just stay safe. Keep your head on straight and all that good stuff. So, y'all have a good night, and I will see you in 2 weeks, hopefully with Denise next time on Planet B, O, B. Thank you all. Have a good night.